Shalom.
Shalom.
In this video, we wanted to talk briefly about windows and the stock bus windows all the way up until what windows we picked and went with.
And we got our window frames done.
Some
on
of
this side.
Yeah, actually, well, there's two more to do on this side.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys can see it. Yeah, you should be able to see the front.
Yep.
That's going to be a double hung, and this will be same size as these ones. These are 4 foot by 3 foot.
Yeah, 4 feet wide, 3 feet high.
And they're sliders. They're all black. They're fully...
We'll talk about that when we get to those ones.
Okay.
We'll start with that. So what school buses start out with is just they're all single pane windows, and they're a single hung, which is they just slide from the top down. And we lived in our old bus for 2.5 years with those windows.
Stock bus windows.
Yep. And we didn't delete a single one of them. We didn't put any, we deleted like half of them. We just put insulation and plywood over half of them. But what happens with those windows is when it gets colder outside and warmer inside, especially if it's more humid in the bus, on the inside of the window you'll get condensation. And if you do a quick Google search, that's like an RVer's worst nightmare. Is every single RV that has single pane windows, every bus that has like a school bus with stock windows, they all have condensation problems. And we were even down 3/4 of the way down. We were by Tampa, Florida in the winter, 2 winters ago, and even down there in the middle of winter, it got cold enough down to like the mid 30s that when we woke up in the morning, our windows had condensation on them. So even as far south as southern Florida, we weren't able to get away from the condensation. So in our new bus build, we knew that we couldn't keep the stock windows for a long-term solution. It worked for us in the other bus, which was we were planning to have long-term, but
It wasn't even as well.
it wasn't even as well.
And we weren't complaining either. We were just living our life.
Yeah, we just dealt with the condensation and made sure that we didn't forget about it. And every morning we would have to have a little fan that went around and dry off the windows and dry the windows off with a fan and make sure that it didn't get anywhere we didn't want it to be.
But we've learned that mold is not a respecter of person.
Yeah, and there's nothing to mess around with. So in this build, we did a lot of research. We looked at every option we could on what can we do to get away from the school bus windows. And with the first option that most people run to is like just an RV window, a new RV window. You can get them online from lots of different wholesalers. But the problem is that any window that you can buy online, generally, unless you have them custom made, any one that you can find readily available is still just a single pane window. So even if you upgrade to a rounded style RV window that most RVs have, it's a single pane window. So you still have that condensating problem. And unless you spend a lot of money on those, I've seen a lot of reviews and personal testimonies that they leak a lot of air. Not only when you're sitting, but when you're driving, they can whistle really bad and stuff. And so just from the
seals fail on them and different things, and they're double the price for half the size that we could have gotten. So we would have been looking at spending way too much. We wouldn't have been able to afford half the windows, and we knew that whatever we were going to do this time, we wanted it to be to last. And especially with doing spray foam, it would not be an easy thing to undo what we've done here.
Yeah, but we also we didn't want to move away from the school bus windows. We love that aesthetic of being able to sit in your living room or in your bedroom and have a 180-degree view that's uninterrupted by wall space. We loved that about our old bus. And it was like one of our favorite things, that you could just be anywhere and just have a complete panorama view.
We say all the time, like, living in a bus is like...
It's like living outside.
Yeah, like living in a tent that you don't have to pick up and put down each time that you move. You just park it and it's already set up. Your whole house is in it.
It really helps you to be connected to where you are. Like
nature.
Not on a weird like I don't know, like a weird like new age level of connected to, but when you're inside of a house, you've like forget where you are because you have limited views of that place, and you're disconnected from what the weather's like outside, whether it's hot, cold, raining, snowing. Sometimes you don't even know if it's raining. But in the bus, your whole view of everything you have to look at is not a wall, it's just a window, and we love that about the bus. So we wanted
hear things better too in the bus, and just being surrounded by that all the time. And
where you can see if people are moving around outside. It's just, there's everything is good about it. So we knew whatever we wanted to do, we wanted to get a lot of windows and big windows. So
as much as we could,
to try and
the biggest
maintain
windows
that.
we could, and also for airflow and different reasons, and
natural light,
and just, we had one shot at it, so we might as well do it the best that we can. And we sacrificed some storage areas for it, but we think we have more than enough storage still, and we're gonna have a lot with doing the roof raise. We knew that we could do bigger windows because we have that extra room where we can have upper head storage that whole way. And I think it'll be absolutely perfect. And also, we wanted to do just residential house windows too, and we've seen other people do it, and we weighed the cost too, because a lot of people say, like, you can't do house windows in an RV.
They're not made to be moving.
They'll just break and different things. But like everyone that makes actual tiny homes,
on a trailer with a wooden frame,
made to be pulled around and bounced down the highways and the roads, they're just regular windows, and those ones aren't even usually like tempered. And we also looked at that too. We also looked at getting tempered windows, and we would have had to do them custom. And surprisingly, a lot of places they won't even give you a quote for windows or let you buy them unless you're an actual company wanting to like build a whole house. So that was one thing, problems that we ran into. But then still, once we finally did get prices for other custom size windows and different things, it would have been like $12,000. And for all of our windows, it wasn't even a quarter of that price.
So we knew we wanted to keep the aesthetic of that massive panorama view that you get from a natural school bus. So we knew that whatever we did would have to incorporate huge windows and not be expensive. And so we looked at the other option for regular RV windows, and they're very, very, very expensive, but they also have that condensating problem. So we knew that wasn't an option for us long term. So the other option above the regular RV windows is a double pane RV window, and
I'll add, it does seem like that's what everyone else does, that just because everyone else is doing it. They're not
double pane RV.
Both, or single pane or double pane. It seems like they're just following what everyone else does. But for our whole build, we're like, we don't care what everyone else is doing. Let's just do the best. And
when it's hard to like swim against the stream, and you're going into like uncharted waters,
unknown territory.
You don't know whether or not it'll work, and so it does take a lot of research, a lot of thought, a lot of pre-planning. But so we didn't consider the regular RV windows, but then we looked at the double pane RV windows, and it's kind of like, I would say, from my research, is probably like maybe 12% of commercially made RVs have double pane windows. Most of them have single pane, but some really expensive models do have double pane windows, and they come from only a couple manufacturers. And the problem with trying to get those windows is that they don't sell to the general public. They only sell to large RV manufacturers, unless you happen to be blessed enough to have a relationship with one of those companies and you live right by them and you can go in person. And I've only heard of one person having that opportunity to go and get.
Strange, because they're missing out on a lot of business.
Especially with people trying to do more of this. But those windows are very expensive. We had looked at getting. There's a company online that can custom make a double pane RV window, and I think it was like I think for one of our smaller windows, like for the 4x2, I think it was like $900 to have that window made, and I think the other ones were $1,200 to have the bigger one made. So they're really, really, really expensive. But so just because you can't find them, and the only place that you can find the double pane RV windows for the general public is at like an RV scrapyard. But then you're at the mercy of whatever they have, the different styles that they probably have.
Redo all the ceiling and everything
it'll probably be mismatched windows. You'll have to use whatever window and make it fit your build, rather than making picking a window that fits your build. You're gonna have to make your build fit your windows, which that doesn't work with us trying to keep as much of a view as we can. So the other option that we initially looked into, because we talked about like almost every tiny house that's made on a trailer frame uses a residential window. We thought, if they're made to be pulled around, we've heard seen a lot of things in forums that people say you can't use a regular house window because they're not made for that. They're not designed for it. They won't take the abuse. They'll break.
Frames aren't strong enough. Different things like that. But then we also ran across 2 Skoolies that had done.
We've seen like 3 or 4, I think, now that have used residential windows for 5 plus years.
We also saw a couple pull-behind trailers that had residential windows.
Just a cargo trailer.
Yeah, pretty much anyone just going against the stream and doing it themselves. They're like house windows from a box store.
And we're going to build our window. We've got our window frames and everything designed and planned so that Yahuwah willing, nothing like this will ever happen. But if a window does break, you should be able to replace just the glass. Or if the frame itself breaks, we will be able to replace it. It's not going to be built into the bus so that it's never going to be able to come out. It'll actually be really easy for us to change out a window if we need to. We don't ever think that we'll need to, but if we do, or if we want to upgrade to really expensive windows later on in life, which we probably won't do, but we're making it so that we can if we need to or have to.
Yeah, and you designed it really well. Like, we haven't really seen anyone else do. Yeah. With you being in construction, you just know how windows and framing and everything works. So you're able to do it so that we literally can just pull them out from the outside if we need to. It would be nothing to change a window.
It's not invasive in any way to the inside of the bus or the outside. It would be very simple to replace them. So ultimately, that's what we went with, and we went and we looked at. There's a couple window manufacturers around us, and they didn't offer any windows with a tempered glass, and that was one of the big things on the forums that people were. They say the RV windows and the RV double pane windows are made with tempered glass, and for DOT regulations, you have to have tempered glass. And so we looked at getting windows, but we quickly found that you have to have them custom built by the companies to include tempered glass. And anytime that you put the label or the writing custom built on a window, it goes up like double the price right away, no matter what you're doing. So those became unaffordable for us too. But then we stumbled across some different people on different forums saying to use like a 3M safety film on the window, and then it qualifies for even residential building codes as tempered glass. You can just put this safety film on, and then if it does break, the safety film holds it all together, but also adds a lot of structure to the window. So that's what we're going to go with. In the end, we're going to put safety film on the inside and outside of the window, but we did get just a regular... Isabella? Coming by, Mama? So we did get just a regular... Are we pause or?
No, you can keep talking.
So we did get a regular residential window, and we ended up looking around at a lot of different ones. We knew we wanted all vinyl frame and window. That way there's no wood in order to deteriorate, or that we have to upkeep, or that could rot or mold. We wanted an all vinyl window. So we ended up finding from Menards, they started making windows they started selling windows that are made in China a couple years ago, and they're very, very, very affordable, and we've seen nothing but good reviews on them so far. And we were really kind of like questionable, like we did a lot of research of like, what does a more quality, more expensive window, what is the upgrades there? And a lot of it was small things like different seals, different weather strippings, which you could add or change on your own. And so like you pay a lot of extra money for a really high quality window, so to say, and you really don't get that much of a difference. Usually the glass is the same. Usually it's pretty much the same construction even. It's just the seals and things maybe that are a little better.
What we've seen is mostly as long as the plastic and the metal is strong and well made.
Yep.
Nothing else really matters, because that's all like the weather stripping. You can put new weather stripping in if you want, and we just kind of watched some videos about how windows are made, like their frames and like the was it the J channels that you were
profiles,
talking about?
the brick molding, different things like that.
So we weighed our options for everything, and then you would just open the doors or windows for these ones, and it's amazing, especially with them not even being a year old. Like 9, I think
they're a little over a year old at this point.
Is it?
Yeah.
But like 10 months, and we couldn't really find any videos on them either. We found a couple, but so we just
went and looked at them in person too.
Yeah, we were like really testing different windows. But then if we would have went with a different brand, then they only had like black on the outside, white on the inside, and we're like, we don't want white windows for. And
some of the quotes that we got for we have 10 windows in the bus. And some of the quotes we got for those 10 windows were upwards of $12,000. The most expensive quote we saw for one window was $1,900.
Yeah, unaffordable.
Yeah.
So if we would have done pretty much anything else that would have been quality or even near this, it would have been right around 12,000, 13 or more.
Yeah, and the windows that we got, they're all vinyl, and they actually have a steel reinforced frame as well, and the gliders are steel reinforced, so those won't like wear out over time.
It's not with screens or anything, and like even like down to the little locking mechanisms, like these ones are black.
Yeah.
And we should have brought one out and had it out here.
It's 100% black. Like the plastic is actually black. It's not painted either. That's something to note. So
that was really nice. We were like, oh, that's awesome, because if it does scratch, then you're not going to see like white underneath or brown or a different color. It'll always be black. And
But so for all 10 windows, we have 5 windows that are 4 feet wide by 3 feet high. We have 3 windows that are 4 feet wide by 2 feet high, and then we have 2 windows that are 30 inches wide and 3 feet tall. And those, every one of the ones before those two are sliders, and they slide from the left side. But the two 30-inch wide by 3 foot tall ones, those are double hung windows, so they open from the top and the bottom.
Passenger.
Yes. Thank you, Isabel. You got flowers?
From
Thank
Mama,
you.
they can.
Okay.
Mama can save all of those flowers.
Hallelujah.
They're
Thank you.
sunflowers.
Thank you, Isabel.
Okay, I'll keep them and we'll bring them inside and put them in some water, okay?
Thank you, Isabel.
Watch
where you're
out, watch
walking.
out.
Watch where you're walking.
Careful.
Love you. So yeah, so that we went with those ones, and so for all 10 of those windows, we paid after tax $2,800, and they were, it was 3 days from the time that we ordered them till the time they were in the store.
Yeah, it ended up coming 2 days early.
Yeah.
Which was amazing because when you started building,
we got frames, we actually went and picked the windows up the day after they came into the store, and that same day we went and got them in the morning, came back, and then I started building the frame, and that's just where we were at. I started building the window frames
here. We didn't plan that. That was just Yahuwah's perfect timing.
Gabriel,
don't touch
Gabriel,
buddy.
Scoot over, buddy. Go listen to your songs,
bud.
brother. So yeah, it just worked out perfectly. But there was a little problem with the windows. They actually were out of stock for a while. We had kind of settled on these windows, and they were out of stock. And then they had a different model that had a little bit of a different feature to them that we weren't super excited about, but it was all we could get. So we were kind of planning to get those ones, and we were just praying that if they were the wrong windows, that we wouldn't get them, or whatever Yahuwah's will was, that it would just work out. And we were about to go get these other windows, and Lily just double-checked this listing.
Do this one too.
Thank you, Isabel. Lily just double-checked the listing for the windows that we really wanted, and they had came back into stock.
Yeah, I had literally, I pulled it up, and I was like, we have to get these windows, because if these ones with the brick molding, that was the difference. If these ones, and they were more expensive, we saved $500 by not getting the brick molding ones, and it didn't really change it, and it was actually better this way.
Yeah.
But I pulled it up, and I was like, Yahuwah, against all odds, if it's your will, I pray that these ones have come back in stock and that they're all available, that we can get them, right now. Mm-hmm. And then they were all back in stock that day. And it was crazy because we were going to go with the ones with just a nailing flange, and we were, doing all of our planning on SketchUp, where we built the entire bus on the computer and every little measurement and different things so that we can really plan it out. Gabriel.
Flower, brother.
Watch your feet. Go play. Go play.
Go by Isabel. By a speaker.
So as soon as we got done planning it all out on SketchUp, then we went to go buy them because we know what we want. Let's just go get them, see if they're in stock, and we can go pay for them and get them. And then they were out of stock that day, and we're like, okay, it's not Yahuwah's will, and we'll just wait. And we just kept praying and praying, and we're Father, open the doors for different windows.
Yeah, but we also called them. We're like, hey, what's the deal? Are they out of stock? Because when we looked, how much? There wasn't 4,000 that they had.
Yeah.
It said there was 4,000 ready to ship to the store, and we're like, okay. So then we were like, well, we don't need to worry about it. And then we looked 2 weeks later, and it just said out of. Yeah, it said sold out. It didn't say out of stock. It didn't say coming back. And so we waited a couple weeks and kept building the bus, and then they just still said sold out with nothing, no explanation. And we're looking at the other models, their numbers are dwindling, and we're like, what is going on? Are they bad windows and they're not going to get more of them? And so we actually called a couple of different Menards.
Well, first we called the local one.
Yeah, we called the local one. They said, oh, no, it's out of stock. We're not getting them anymore. And we're just discontinuing it now.
I was like, Alex, I don't know that's right. I said, I don't think they know what they're talking about.
Yeah. So we called two other ones.
It was so funny because the people that are nearby here were super prideful and acting like they know everything about Windows. And then when we were there, we were asking a couple questions. They clearly don't know anything about Windows. Yeah. And then we call and they're like, oh yeah, for sure they're not coming back in stock. I was like, we should call one of the bigger.
Yeah, well, we called a couple other ones. They said the same thing, and then we just Googled the biggest Menards store, and we called them, and the guy said, nope, they're not out of stock. It's the opposite problem. We can't keep them on the shelf. They're selling too fast. Yeah. So he said, but there is another shipment coming in. And he's like, well, we don't know when that'll be. They're on the way from China right now.
Yeah, they're on the way, and you can special order them, but it might be a few months.
Yeah,
so we weren't sure.
We were still going to go with the other option, which it was the same window, but it had a J-channel built in. It's called brick molding. And so we would have to tuck our trim behind that, which it doesn't change anything. It's just a different look.
So we were like, all right, well, it must be Yahuwah's will to get those ones instead. And that's what's in stock. That's what he provided at this time. We're ready for them.
But they were $500 more overall. So it would have been $3,200 for all the windows.
Yeah, and we were like, well, maybe Yahuwah had it because it had a little bit of thicker plastic and this and that. But I literally prayed last minute and just pulled my phone up. And I was like, Alex, they're all back in stock. And you're like, all of them? Like, they're all available?
Yeah.
All of them. So we're like, it must be Yahuwah's will. And then we even played around with different pricing and stuff and found out that it was $500 more for the brick molding and just prayed. And Yahuwah just opened the doors as we were ready. And that's what we've been learning in this season. Like, sometimes he doesn't provide a week or a month or 2 months or a year ahead. It's like that day it can be.
And then down to when we actually go pick the windows up and bring them home that day, my next task to start doing is to build the window frames.
And not planned at all, like literally just falling into place. So.
But we couldn't really start building the window frames until we had at least made the purchase on the windows, because if we were to build these frames are huge. These windows are big, and like we talked about, $1,700 for one of these windows at the most expensive quote. If we would have built all these openings and then something happened, we couldn't get those windows anymore, we wouldn't have been able to put windows in the openings that we had openings for.
Yeah,
we wouldn't have been able to afford it.
We're also like really smart and thinking ahead. Like, if they break, let's just do standard sizes.
Yes, yep. So we didn't do like 4'2.5" or something, like something custom
weird,
and silly.
Yeah. So 4x3, 4x2, and then 30 by 36 inches.
Very standard sizes.
Yeah. So then we'll have one really big window in our bedroom. We'll have the 4x2 in the bathroom. We'll have two 4x3s in like the kitchen, half living room area type thing, and then a 4x2, and then
two 4x2s above the kitchen counter. That way we get a little bit of counter space before the window.
Two 4x2s in the living room area.
4x3.
Or because they're going to be dropped down a little bit, and then the double hungs.
Yeah.
So it's I think we're gonna look like a house rolling around.
I haven't seen the school bus yet that has residential windows in it that has replaced their driver's window with the residential window, so that'll be interesting.
It's gonna be nice. But Alex, I never really experienced it because I never really drove the bus. I drove the old bus once when we were in a parking lot and
before
just did a couple before it was converted. Literally on the way home after we first picked it up. I was like, this is cool, but I never actually drove it because I'm very good at driving, but I'm not, I've never drove a semi. Alex had previous experience with backing up semis for an old job that he had and different things, and it's your whole home. So if you mess up, it's a big liability.
You just got to get used to where the vehicle is.
I plan on it. I want to practice and stuff, but but he always said, there's always whistling, the loudest whistling ever from the window, the air coming in the window, and it was deafening. He was like, what did you say? I'm like, how can you not hear me? I'm right here.
A lot of road noise.
Yeah, so that'll be really nice to have that there, and I think the double hungs will just be perfect.
Yeah.
I think everything that we've been doing has just been confirmed by the Father and very
diligently
blessed.
planned.
Yeah.
So that's what we went with, and I think that cost effectiveness, the safety film is incredibly cheap.
It literally is a miracle for how cheap they were. Anyone that knows anything about windows, it's unreal that we got all these.
For a moderately sized house, it's the same amount of windows that we're putting into this bus for an entire house.
You get quoted $20,000. More usually for a normal house, or if you go you have choices when you build a new house, new construction. Sometimes it's way more than that even.
Yeah, especially if you get really nice
brands.
wood-clad windows and different things, which I don't think are nice.
which is dumb, especially because even in our friend's house here, you can tell because the wood is unfinished. There's different spots where there was condensation in previous years and different things, and it causes mold. Any bare wood, organic material with any amount of condensation and no airflow causes mold.
Well, we even went to a really well-known window manufacturer close to us, and I talked with one of the guys, one of the employees there, and he said that he replaced all of his windows with their top-of-the-line window and his wood-clad, and he said that every other year he just has to go around and refinish his windows and strip off the stain that's on them and refinish, and they're brand new windows, and he said every 2 years he just goes around and refinishes them because otherwise they'll just start to rot.
Especially since we'll have a little bit of a windowsill too, and we got 4 children and probably more down the road, and they spill things, and they get a hold of a crayon, and yeah. I didn't get that at first.
Oh boy.
But it's just perfect, like durability-wise, safety, longevity.
Yeah.
Cost.
And ease of replacement too. You know, you can. It's kind of harder to replace a broken RV window, and most places can easily fix regular house windows. You just go take it in.
Especially when you bring your house to them.
Yeah.
You're like, can you do this quick?
Yeah.
Pay a couple $100. And I don't know, with how much they're selling at Menards as well, I don't think they're gonna go out of stock. And I think that's what people want. Like, if it does the job, and it's cheap
that was one of the things that we really had. We're researching. We're doing so much planning. We're trying to make it perfect. We're trying to
luxury windows.
Yeah, we're not trying to spend millions of dollars, but we're trying to make sure that whatever we do is going to be good for us, and it's going to be quality materials. And
as long as it's quality, we don't care.
We're looking in the store at these specific windows we got, and we're looking through the windows at the lights in the store, and it had a slight blue tint. Like the windows, for some reason, had a slight blue tint. And we're in the store, and we're like, I just don't know about this bluish, like little bit of a tint that the glass has itself, and so we had talked to some people at the store, and they're like, I don't know why that is.
I was starting to get stressed about it.
Yeah, we were like,
I just don't know.
These probably aren't good for us because of this blue tint. And then we get back out to our old bus with the stock bus windows that we lived with for 2.5 years, and there's this piece of tape that's like this long from when we bought it from the school bus. They probably had taped like the route number on the inside of the window, and it's like half gone, sticky, and it blocks a good chunk of your view in the window. And we have lived for 2.5 years with this big piece of tape, and we never even noticed it really. Like it just became, you don't even see it, you know. And so
it didn't matter. We were together as a family, which is why we built the bus and why we got out of our old home, and like that's what matters to us, and we're just doing the work of Yahuwah. We didn't even think about that stuff. It was like vanity to us.
And there's no way that these new windows that we got will be anywhere near as bad as our stock school bus windows. So
and feeling the breeze through, like I really feel like Yahuwah just blessed us and rewarded us for not caring at all for those 2 years. And he's like, you got glue on your window and probably gum from children riding in the school bus, and like and I realized, I looked out and I was like, these are more tinted than the ones in the store.
Yeah, very.
So maybe the tint will be good for us, and it'll not let too much light in. Like when you got a bright skylight and it's just like blinding you, and so we're like, okay, it was kind of like a wake up call. Like,
look what you lived with.
Like these will be good. Like don't get too focused on, but that's good that we were like that. Like thinking about every single detail, and like let's do it right, the best that we possibly can.
Yeah.
Which is great, but you can also get carried away. Just be happy.
Building it simply,
yeah.
So that's what we went with, and it's a good option. There was quite a headache though to try and figure out the best way to install them and make them waterproof. But we've got we've never seen it done before this way at all, or even thought. I've ran it past a lot of people, and they think that's a really good idea. So.
And Alex will walk through all that too. He'll show you when he's doing it, different things in video.
Just how
so if you're building a bus and you actually want to do it or learn how we're doing it, we'll have other videos like really detailing it. And same with like the framing for the windows and our ideas. We'll have little talk throughs.
Yeah, there'll be a whole detailed video on just the window part of it.
Yeah, we don't have all the time in the world to make videos, but like even like this, it takes a while to set up the camera and everything, and the children are good, and we got to make sure it's good with the nap and everything. And all this is taking probably about an hour at least altogether out of your work and different things. So, but
there's a lot of stuff that like we want to be able to input into not only the Skoolie community but other people that are looking to maybe do something like this. That there are simple ways to do it off the beaten path that just take a little bit of thought and
the butterfly
and pre-planning, and we've done a lot of that, and that's why we want to make a lot of these videos, because a lot of it is outside the norm of even the Skoolie conversions. But I think if a lot more people went this way, it would greatly bless their builds and benefit them a lot.
Yeah. The more people that walk a path, the more comfortable other people are following it. And same with the ancient path. More and more people are walking it, and more people are following. Hopefully people are following Yahushua though, and not just man.
Yeah.
Don't follow us just because we're saying it's good. Test it. Test what we say is really good and durable, and but I think these are going to be amazing. I know they are, especially after all of our prayer and confirmations and things just falling into place. And that's what we prayed for 2 years on the road. That wherever Yahuwah has us, just have the doors open. We always pray, Yahuwah, help the doors open and close all the other doors that we're not meant to go through so that we can stay on wherever you have us. And he definitely does, especially when you wait on him. Sometimes you don't get an answer right away and you're like, well, what are we going to do? And he's like, chill out. Like, it's a little thing. It's not a big deal. You just have to trust and wait. And even until like the last minute, you're like, well, I guess I'll get the windows I don't want to get. And he's like, nope, all your other ones are here now. There you go. The last day.
2 days later.
Yeah. Amazing.
So these are the 2 window frames, a 4 foot by 3, a 4 foot by 3, and then there will be a 4 foot by 3 here, but it'll be as far down as we can put it because we're gonna have.
I think they can see the 4x2 back there.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and then there's a 4x2 back there. That's our bathroom one. But then we're gonna have a loft above this 4x3 window, in the front of the bus for like a play area for the babies. So.
Yeah. That was one reason we went with the roof raise too, so we could have a loft up there.
And we'll delete this front door.
Yeah, and the door's moving back there. Amazing stuff. We're blessed. So that's our praise testimony, and we'll guide you as you continue to build the framing, and it looks insane.
Yeah.
When I first came out and saw them, I was like, did we go with too big of windows?
There though.
I don't know if that's a thing though.
No.
Can you ever have enough views, especially when you're traveling, and also these sliders, only one side will be able to be open, so that's a good amount of airflow coming in even just to one side.
1.5 feet by 4 by 3 feet.
Yeah.
No, 2 feet by 3 feet.
Yeah.
That's a big hole in your house.
Yeah. More than we had in our other windows that only opened halfway down, and they were so loud. I can't even imagine like a quiet slider. And you lift up the bus windows and it's like clunk, and wake up all the children in the house, and it's like end of the world. So hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Well, thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you again with another praise report soon, or showing you how to or something. And
update, something like that.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.